I'm Sean. This is an MP412C, and the contents of a small bag got this car owner in trouble. Yeah, it's a set screw. Let's talk about what happened. You might notice there's a part missing. That part is the salve block, and what that is a group of solenoids. There's four of them, and those move different parts in the transmission. That's what actually controls your shifting. Now, what had happened was, he said, I'm driving along, go to leave. It's all of a sudden, it's skipping even gears. So first gear works, skips second, goes to third, goes back down to second, car just jerks, car shuts off. Replicated this every time, super easy. Now, I'm thinking something's wrong with that block, and I wasn't wrong. You might notice one of these things is not like the other. That one, not supposed to be bent up. That one is how it's supposed to be. So that got ripped off. So that asks the question, how did it get ripped off? Well, what happened is this is the one that it was connected to. You might notice there's a little indentation there, and that's where it's supposed to sit naturally. This was actually pushed over to one side, so it was not coming back in. It's not in the right spot, therefore it's going to jam up. That's what actually does the gear selection. These things move. Between those four, it moves. So you'd think you just move that in spot and get all lined up at work, right? Well, if you notice, there's a set screw missing. That's where it gets complicated. So what are we going to do? Well, I have another salve block that I'm going to stick in there, but I've also got to get that set screw in there. So what I'm going to have to do is move that rod, because the rod isn't in the right spot. This rod does move this way, but it's supposed to be connected to this one. And right now, it's not in the right spot. I could take the whole thing and I could actually move it past that set screw, and that's bad. And what I believe happened was, because it wasn't secured, it got moved past this point. It actually got locked, and that's how this got moved in that position and won't move anymore. So I've got to get this lined up properly, which is going to take a little bit of effort. I do know that the end of this bar is actually right at the very end of that, but I'm going to have to rotate it to get that set screw in. I was able to rotate that around with a pair of pliers, and I knew that the very end of that had to line up with the very end of that piece. So that's what I did. Spun it around until I kind of found the spot, put it in, and I did use thread locker, if you were wondering, which I know you were. Now we have another little bit of tricky bit, is somewhere down here is going to be the other set screw, I think. Obviously I had to drain all of the fluid, and it never came out. Obviously, to do the service, you do have to drain all of the fluid. You may as well go ahead and do a filter change. So I've taken the filter out, drained all the fluid, but no idea where that set screw actually is. It's somewhere. So I am going to stick a magnet kind of in the bottom in there, move it around as much as I can, see if I can get lucky. If not, we're just going to have to wing it and hope it comes out or gets caught by the filter or something at some point. There's just no way to do that without taking the transmission out, taking the whole thing apart. We're hoping for the best here. Got the block back on. Everything is torqued. Now we're going to refill all the fluid, because we need to do that. And then we're going to check this thing and see if it works.